From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Wednesday, February 18th. It is going to be a really warm day ahead. We're in the mid-50s right now. We could get up to almost 70 degrees today. The thing is, this morning it's going to be a little bit cloudy. Might have a few showers out there as well as some wind. But temperature-wise, we are looking really nice today. We're learning new details about what led up to the shooting that killed a Beech Grove police officer and injured another. Police say Officer Brian Elliott and another officer responded to a domestic disturbance at the Beach Meadow apartment complex on Monday. Officers say they heard a woman scream when they knocked on the apartment door. Police say Elliott then kicked open the door. Officers say that's when the gunman started firing shots and ran from the scene. A woman at the scene identified the shooter as Kenneth Johnson. After a 4-hour-long manhunt, police found him in a laundry room of a nearby apartment building. Officer Elliott later died at the hospital.
I can tell you that Brian did not hesitate when somebody needed him. There was no hesitation. There was no delay in worrying about himself. He literally put his life on the line for someone else. He responded immediately, the same with the other officer.
It's a dark day for our city, but I assure you our community is strong. We have sadly been here before, and we are grieving. Officer Elliott gave his life for us. He fought for us, and we have to honor his service.
Police say the second officer who was shot was hit in the leg and is now recovering at home. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office says formal charges against Kenneth Johnson may not be filed until Thursday. Happening today, you can honor Officer Elliott at a candlelight vigil. It's at the Beech Grove Police Station at 6:30 tonight. Organizers say the vigil will include law enforcement officers, local leaders, and people in the community. They also say the vigil will be an opportunity for everyone to come together and support Officer Elliott's family. Tributes are pouring in for Officer Elliott. His patrol car is the center of a memorial outside the Beech Grove Police Department. News 8's Malia Van Ostrin spoke with people who left flowers and gifts.
Support and tokens of appreciation, all placed carefully on and around fallen Beech Grove Officer Brian Elliott's patrol car. The community came out in droves all day to pay their respects.
It's heartbreaking, honestly, to see what these men and women do every single day, and I hope no one takes that for granted and realize what we've lost.
I've been living out here almost 2 years, and it's a great neighborhood. Beech Grove Police, they ride through the neighborhood, they speak to everyone here, and it just really touched my heart. I work for the city.
Most people who stopped by didn't know Elliott, but had seen him in action around the community.
I seen Elliott drive around the city multiple times, and he was a real nice guy. And may God bless him and his family and the Beech Grove Department here and all the love and support from the community.
One person who showed up says her daughter, who is in law enforcement, knew Elliott. She says his death really hits home among parents whose children's lives are on the line every day.
It's just a really dangerous job. I don't think a lot of people understand what they go through. You know, they do. And I respect Beech Grove Police Department because I've had to call them a few times. They're right there. They're respectful, you know, they're nice and friendly, you know, so just, like I said, I'm in shock. So.
Many community members who showed up to pay their respects say they wanted the police department to know that the community cares and that their work doesn't go unnoticed.
I say stay strong, do what you're doing because you're doing a good job. And if this is one of the bad things that happen, bad things that can happen to the police officers is that they risk their life every single day. They leave their homes. They may not go home. So we need to learn to respect them.
I'm Malia Van Ostrin for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Our team coverage remembering Officer Elliott now goes to his elementary school. News 8's Kat Sandoval talked to one of his former teachers who says he was nothing short of great.
Elliott's former elementary teacher, who's now an assistant principal, says there's heaviness in the air.
Today there was a visible heaviness at the school with the staff. The children are little, they don't understand that, but the staff, there was definitely a heaviness because a lot of them knew Officer Elliott, either or in his family, either as they were his teacher or his siblings' teachers, and just was heavy today.
Hornet Park Elementary School is just across the street from where the shooting took place. Reed says she watched Elliott grow up.
He was a great kid, always smart, always kind to others, always wanted to be a police officer. So followed his dreams and did what he wanted to do. And I think it's interesting that he came back to Beech Grove.
Reed says even at a very young age, Elliott had a dream to become a police officer. She says she was surprised that he returned to serve the community where he was born and raised.
Brian was smart, and he was so smart. He could have done anything in this world. The fact that he chose to serve as a police officer speaks volumes for the kind of person that he was.
I'm Kat Sandoval, Wish TV, wishtv.com.
We're also learning more about Officer Elliott's time before entering the Beech Grove Police Department. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says Elliott served as a deputy for 6 years. He also served on the Specialized Sex and Violent Offender Registry Unit and worked for years as a reserve deputy. He left the Sheriff's Office in 2024 to return to his hometown of Beech Grove and serve the city. In a statement, Marion County Sheriff Carrie Forstall says Officer Elliott protected and served his community right to the very last minute of his life. The Central Indiana Police Foundation is now hosting the official family-approved fund to support Officer Elliott's family. Foundation leaders say every dollar donated will go directly to support his wife, Erin, and their family during this difficult time. We've made it easy for you to donate. You can go to wishtv.com right now. Find the As Seen On section of our website, and you can find this story with a link to donate. Your statewide news network covers Gibson County, where state police arrested 2 people after a high-speed 89-mile chase. Troopers say 27-year-old Giannavan Bailey and 25-year-old Tiana Sullivan are under arrest. Police say the chase started in Monroe County yesterday morning. Officers say they were trying to stop the 2 for speeding when they took off down I-69, reaching speeds of more than 100 miles per hour before state police were able to stop the driver. State police say they used a pit maneuver to stop the chase. The 2 are now facing charges of resisting law enforcement and having meth. Tributes for civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson include a fond memory from one of the best-known soul food restaurants in Indianapolis. Our team talked to Cynthia Wright Wilson, co-owner of Kountry Kitchen, following yesterday's news of Jackson's death at the age of 84. She says Jackson went to the restaurant about 10 years ago when he was visiting the city.
Conversation was good. They stuck around for a while, and he walked around and talked to everybody. So it was very down to earth. It was a moment in time that I would never, ever forget.
Wright Wilson says she is devastated that she lost a picture of Reverend Jackson with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that used to hang on the wall of Kountry Kitchen. She says the picture was lost in a fire that damaged the restaurant 6 years ago. The White House and Democrats in Congress are showing no signs of compromise in the battle over immigration oversight that's led to a shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. A White House official tells the Associated Press the 2 sides are far apart on a deal to curb some federal immigration enforcement tactics. Democrats are demanding the restrictions after several shootings involving federal agents, including the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis last month. Today marks day 18 in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Police now have the results of DNA testing done on a glove found near Nancy's home. Sherelle Hubbard has more on those results.
No match. That's what the Pima County Sheriff says about DNA on gloves found 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home in Arizona. The gloves look like those worn by a masked man seen in doorbell camera footage. But tests of that DNA yielded no matches in the national database known as CODIS and doesn't match DNA found at Guthrie's home either.
This is going to focus us right back on the clothing. It's going to put us right back on the backpack, the ski mask, and tracking down the gun and the holster we saw in those video images.
Sheriff Chris Nano said Monday Nancy Guthrie's family members, including her adult children and their spouses, are not suspects in her disappearance. But some criminal justice experts say that assertion could be premature.
I don't know how he can completely eliminate anybody as a suspect right now without even identifying the evidence or the DNA profile they have at hand.
According to a source familiar with the investigation, investigators still have no leading theory about a motive in the case. Now, a law enforcement source says DNA found on the gloves will undergo genetic genealogy testing next.
They now can use that to see, oh, did this person who committed this crime have a half-brother or a cousin or an aunt who's in this database?
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The union representing WNBA players has given a counter-proposal for a new contract with the league, making some concessions on revenue sharing. But ESPN is reporting a spokesperson for the league called the new proposal unrealistic. Players have cut their expectations for league revenue and limits on salary cap. A statement from the league says the latest proposal would still cause teams to lose money. But last year, Forbes reported that the league revenue has doubled since 2020, and the average value of WNBA teams is now $269 million. If a deal is not reached, though, it could delay the season. It is supposed to tip off in May. To college basketball now. The Purdue men lost to the number one team at home last night. Purdue tried to rally against Michigan from a big deficit. Trey Kaufman led with 27 points, but it was not nearly enough. The Boilermakers fall to the Wolverines 91-80. Sports director Anthony Calhoun was in West Lafayette for the game. He hears from the team and how they're now looking to bounce back against their in-state rival.
Well, Michigan made a huge statement here on Tuesday night at Mackey Arena, completely dominating Purdue and proving there's no doubt they are the number one team in the country. They led by 16 points at halftime, held Purdue's top player, Braden Smith, to 0 points in the first half. And what's more astonishing, the guys on this sideline right here, every Michigan player that played in the first half scored a point.
They just have really good players. I mean, I don't think they do anything special as far as like schematically. They have really good players. You know, they rebound the ball well. You know, it's tough. It puts your defense in binds without them having to run a whole lot. And then they get out in transition. And when you don't have a set D, it's tough to defend.
We're a talented team as well. And obviously if we limit some of the rebounds and long rebounds at the beginning of the game, that led to a lot of second chance points, and a couple shots go down. We're either winning that game or close at the end.
I mean, we needed to deliver a lot of punches, whether it was the first or second, or we knew this was going to go, how many rounds? 10 rounds. If we do 4-minute games and there's 10 rounds. And we knew this one would go all 10. And so if we took a shot, then we had to respond, and our guys did that.
You know, your final test is in the NCAA tournament. That's the way I look at it. You know, like, sure, you want to win those games, but we're not. If we'd have won it, we wouldn't have had a parade. Our goal was to win the Big Ten. These dudes ain't losing 4 games. We got 4 losses. They ain't losing 4 games. So that's just that. That's reality. You can be preseason number 1 in the country. That means nothing. But when you're in the middle of February and you're number 1 in the country, it means a whole lot because you earned that one. They earned that. They earned what they've gotten. So we just got to keep earning ours too.
And so as you heard right there, Matt Painter is probably right. Purdue's chances of winning the Big Ten title in the regular season is pretty much going to be tough to do for the Boilermakers. But now Purdue has to focus in on another big game coming up on Friday, right here at Mackey Arena against their arch rival. The IU Hoosiers come to town on Friday. Indiana beat Purdue just last month down in Bloomington. Of course, we'll be here for the big matchup coming up between the Hoosiers and, of course, the Boilermakers. Anthony Calhoun, Wish TV, and WishTV.com.
This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.